and solidify a society's beliefs and morals and culture, it can also be influenced by the very culture and society that it takes place in or is produced in. Now, as an example for this influence, it can be trivial, like fashion. Like when the musical film Grease was released, it has remained iconic ever since, and not only because of its dances, its songs, its characters, but with its sense of style. The leather jackets, the bomber and varsity jackets that are used in the film have been only grown popular over the decades. Now, before I give out another example, I want to ask you a question. This may be a tricky question, but I need one of you to sacrifice yourself for me. Do you guys know the first rule of Fight Club? Don't talk about Fight Club. Thank you. Well, exactly, but that won't be the case for today. Because when Fight Club was released, real fight clubs have not only sprung across the United States, but across to the entire world, to places like Russia, to China, and to Thailand.
I have a question. Why is the name censored?
Because the second rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. And this influence may be political too. And an example for that is this movie, directed by Elanaz ARSLAN, named All the President's Men. Now, this is a movie about the Watergate scandal that shook American politics. I don't know if you're familiar with that story, but this is about two journalists that are investigating this story. And that's why it caused many people to join journalism schools in America. But this movie also sparked a controversy. A controversy that, while the liberal response were more positive, conservatives thought that they should favor more restrictions in the press. Now, this is a very broad subject. If we're going to talk about cinema, we have to talk about TV shows too. TV shows, believe it or not, have just as much as effect on us as movies does. Especially lately with streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon, and HBO. These media giants decide what's going to be popular in the upcoming months. An example for that is this TV show named Queen's Gambit from Netflix. When this show was released, the interest in chess sparked higher than it has ever been in the last decade. Now, I myself am someone who wanted to learn chess again, to play it again after I watched this. Have you guys seen this?
I bought a magazine and this book after I've seen the show.
Yes, because it sparked an interest in us. And that's what I want. Now, if we're going to talk about TV shows, we have to talk about Turkish TV classics. Have you guys heard this series called Kurtlar Vadisi?
Yes.
Okay. Well, for years, fans of the show have been handing out helva in honor of character Çakır's death. Another example for that is our queen, Bihter Ziyagil from Aşk-ı Memnu. And every year, on Bihter Ziyagil's death anniversary, she goes viral, and fans all across the country are very sad about this. Do you guys like these characters?
Tabii siz anneleri tarafından size emanet edilen çocuklara her bakımdan yetersiz gördüğünüz bir kadının annelik etmesine şiddetle karşısınız ama.
Thank you. I see you like it.
I know that Süleyman Çakır has died in April 8 on 2004 and Bihter Ziyagil has died in June 24th on 2010.
Thank you. As you can see, it really affects us. Well, of course, why do we like these characters? Why do we find ourselves so much invested in them? Well, if you're going to talk about it,
We
please.
find a piece of ourselves in them.
Yes, we find something represented in them. Something from us, when we see it on the screen, it attracts us. And that births fandom culture. Now, movies bring people all around the world around one thing that they enjoy the most. Just like all art forms, film also have power to unite and polarize societies. Some even go so intense that some fandoms consist of entire generations, like Generation Y or the Millennials, are so obsessed with Harry Potter. Well, of course, on the more negative side, with cinema going global and technology developing, local cultures have experienced the most impact. And that is because Hollywood entering mostly foreign markets and spreading the American lifestyle. And this caused rather new Eastern and European cultures to westernize in a sense that is American. Of course, this wasn't always so one-sided, and lately it made non-American cultures gain a platform to showcase their own cultures and beliefs. And an example for that is this movie, Black Panther, in 2019. This movie introduced the audience to such a various and rich mix of African cultures, which I think is a beautiful but unfairly overlooked culture. Do you guys like this movie? What do you think about it? Do you want to talk about it?
In my opinion, it is kind of overrated, but it's a good movie.
Okay, do you like the cultural symbols in it?
Yes, the cultural symbols is certainly the best part of the movie.
As you can see, movies affect us, but we also affect these movies because of how we produce them. Overall, as a society, we continue to influence movies with the way we interact with ourselves, with our communications. But movies, the large and imaginative world of movies, continue to influence us in the sense that it's going to influence the legacy that we will leave behind for future generations. So the next time you go to see a new movie, please think about this fascinating cycle of human mind and behavior.